it's your bud. AVT Pro on the D-Low and B-Low. Don't give me no C-Low. Woo! I was rapping. Almost, right? So, I got some good news. Very good news. I got a Monfratto. Monfratto. I think that's Italian. So I got the head off. As my brother helped me, and my dad. I actually asked my dad for some help. And he actually helped me. And and Paul, my brother, I also got him to help me, and he actually helped. Wow. A ribbon. They deserve it. Anyway, where am I? This is the camera over there. So I got it off, which is great, and I could put it back on, and it was very helpful, and I really appreciate their help, and thanks. And I just didn't have an Allen wrench this size, so it was a very simple problem, and I mentioned it on my last video. You could say I probably just don't have the right screw, and I didn't. And I'm surprised because what I was doing has this lever here, and once you pull it, then it's supposed to get stick, but it was kind of coming loose because I had it on my glide track, which is this here. I had it on my glide track here, so you put this, and then this, and then put this on top of it, and then you put this on top of that, right? So that's my Scarlet baby. It's my Scarlet baby. Yo, Scarlet, you know that's my baby. So, bam. So, and we got a good bit. So now I'm gonna put this back on top of my heavy duty Monfratto tripod, which is this big showstopper here. And you know what I've been finding out is that the more I mess with this stuff, the more I learn, and the more I'm beginning to understand. And so my whole attitude towards rigging is changing. So, and now I'm starting to mix and match parts, and that's really how the Monfratto. Now, what's really supposed to happen is I take this, and I put my crane on top of that. So now, that's why I was so concerned about it. But, so now, that's what I'm going to do. This is very cool. I'll take that. That's just so smart, right? And so I realized that you can start mixing and matching stuff. So here's some rig wheels I have, which I have over here. It's like 8-foot rail here. And then, so what I didn't understand, like this, you can put this in here, and that this goes upside down in here. So, and then you can run the rails like that. So I'm learning a lot about how to mix and match stuff if I don't break it before I have a chance to use it all. So, but I'm very happy about it. I have been breaking some stuff. So, this is really cheap. I'm surprised you were thinking of it. It's very durable. So I'm very happy about all of this. And like I say, I'm also studying. I'm continuing to studying. So obviously, I am moving in visual effects. And now, don't get it twisted. Just because the amount of studying I do doesn't mean that I can't get a job done very highly and proficiently as I am. I just like to go back to foundational knowledge because I like to do stuff right. I try not to be a hack, okay? So I try to, to learn what it really takes, to do stuff with integrity that has a certain amount of longevity. So that's why I do it. Now, that's not the market of the world we live in, It's like, people will see something one day and then publish it the next or that minute at the same time, So, anyhow. So, I realized I could take one. I'm going to look for some plates. And I will be tracking this kind of thing with this. And the way I'm building this rig, people are like, oh, yeah, that's not a real rig. It doesn't have a follow focus. It doesn't have, my rods and a mat box and, all this stuff that you could have. Sitting prime, it's not PL mount and stuff like that. Those are things that I had to learn about, and that I'm really glad and very satisfied that even just learning, just learning has just really opened my mind and my eyes up to, again, some very foundational knowledge, which I think is very important. And it's unfortunate that a lot of us do jump to, just, I joke about it. It's just like, just grabbing stuff off the ground and putting it on. People do that. There's, that's a culture in itself. But, to have some kind of totality and understanding of what you're really doing. It doesn't mean that it's bad, but it's just that, and what the markets are the way they are. So, anyway, like I say, I'm going more into visual effects. So, visual effects supervisor kind of director thing. I just think that it's part of the convergent technology which I work with. So, but I'm really happy to get some of the understanding, like some of the core understanding that technologies and things that, I worked around all the time. Like, I know 444 is better than 422, and 422 is better than 421 or 420. But what is actually 444, or what is, how are the sensors made and things of that sort. So, the bearing, that's kind of, I'm still kind of getting an understanding. Optics, how the general optics work. I work with silver iodide. I worked in a photochemical process, so how does that interpolate to a digital process? And matter of fact, while I was thinking about that, I worked with Canon laser copiers, and that technology, we outsource a lot of things, but again, the long run is that, then we don't really master that part of the business. There's no need to do it. And then the people that we outsource it to, they develop it. And it's part of, you got to kind of deal with it. But, like, at a certain point, like, the fact that, there's such typical things, like, like the fact that it would say, like, a Kodak Eastman is going bankrupt. It's like, yeah, it's like, why hasn't it gone bankrupt already? Considering that people don't use film anymore, and that they did not develop the technology when they knew that it was coming. Digital cameras, I remember the first Apple digital camera. That was back in I didn't know what it was or why it was. I never seen it. I thank God that I even went to New York, that I actually began to learn this stuff. But it's interesting because it's really interesting. But we need to really focus on development a little bit more. I saw this thing with Timberland, and I have a high regard for Timberland as the dude is another level. He can cross tracks, do anything he wants, he can produce anything. But he said, we plain simply aren't doing music anymore. It's just I'm not talking about that area, but I'm talking about even like with Canon copiers. You know, they knew that those digital chips were coming out, photographics, and they Kodak knew that, and they didn't do anything to develop it. And you know, Kodak as a company was instrumental. They're an innovation company. You know, I mean, even stuff like Autodesk and Motion Builder not being on a Mac, you know, and yet they want to sell all these products to Mac users. And here I am as a motion data capture artist and can't even use the software that I buy from them. And so, you know, like Maya, you know, and that's like 2-3 grand. Oh, Maya would cost me 4 grand, I think. You know, so we need to pull it together. We need to focus on not on just always making a quick buck. You know, I mean, you know, I don't do artwork, and I don't. Maybe because of the poor, I don't know. Maybe because of, you know, coming from Buffalo, you know, which was once a steel working town. You know, being an artist is not, you know, it's like, what's wrong with you? You know, what's your problem? You know, whereas, you know, the rest of the world is like, you know, huge. And right now, it's an invaluable skill to be a real artist, you know, which, you know, I've never given up on, you know, and this, to me, is all part of art. But, you know, it's like, almost lost my thought. Let's go back so far, and I'm talking. But you know, just as far as doing art, you know, that long. I know. Here's my thought. I never did art for the sake of just like money. I'm in it for the money. I'm in it for the money. Just how much money. I'm surprised that there's money in it. You know, like I said, because of my background, but. You know, and so I have that kind of thinking. You know, my thinking should be much broader. And unfortunately, you know, if I haven't suffered too much, maybe I could still make some money. But and I hope to make money and understanding the business. But you know, really, you know, you know, I still. I know that there's a lot of artists that are their whole motivation is how much money you can get out of it, but it should also be quality of work. And then, like I said, it's just somewhere there should be quality, or you shouldn't have to always pay through the nose to get quality. You know, I mean, somebody should just be producing something that's good. It can't be so ineffective to produce quality. That's what gets us mostly where we are, you know. So it would be great if Americans in general, you know, could still lead up their innovation, lead up, like, unfortunately, Kodak Eastman, you know, with films, they should have made the hyper jump to digital. And like I've said many a times before, that I was 17 years old and in Buffalo, and I was looking at my old art history books, and some of them I borrowed, you know, some of them I got from school, and I would look at those books before I ever saw real paintings, and I could look at the Renaissance and the difference, the shift, the artistic shift from 2D drawing, and where they used to draw 2D, and everything was flat. You know, if there was a house in the distance, it wouldn't be small. It'd be just the same size as the one in the foreground. So they didn't understand, you know, vanishing